in some questions. Raise your hand, we'll get a mic to you.
I don't have an opening statement. You
Okay,
said that
well,
was
then
part
you
of the
don't have
process, as we just
It's all good.
get to the questions.
Everybody's good. All right, we'll start with Rich. And then we'll go to Pickle.
This is for Tom. This is for Tom. Tom, can you describe Dom Deluca's knack for making big plays at the right time? He's done it throughout his career, and have you seen that in your season here?
Yeah, what a testament to his grit and toughness and coming here as a walk-on and just earning a scholarship and become a really, really good player for us. And you talked about just the savviness. He's one of the smartest players I've ever coached, and he spends so much time studying and preparing. He anticipates really, really well. Obviously, the huge takeaway, 2 picks and 1 for a touchdown that were just so monumental today. But I just think that he studied the game, which he does. He has great awareness and just the ability to, like I said, anticipate. But I think the film study helps with that. But more than anything, he's a gifted player. He really is, and he's a guy that has come up big for us, and he's been so consistent each and every week. So I'm just so proud of him. He deserves all the credit he gets.
We'll go Pickle, and then we'll go to Brennan.
This question for Andy, right here in the middle. You guys ran for 189 yards today, 3 touchdowns, and both your starters, Nick and K-Tron, both had 6.4 yards per carry against one of the better rush defenses in the country. Why did that work so well for you guys today?
Well, one, we've talked a lot in the past about, their abilities and how hard they run and the way they've been complementing each other so well up front, or in the run game. But then it starts up front. And I think James probably had commented in here, if you did, but like these games and this kind of weather, this time of year play, you need to win up front. Like we need to have great O-line and D-line play. You know what I mean? And that's how we're going to continue to advance. And so I think we did a great job blocking it. It wasn't always perfect, but as we started getting into the second quarter, and you could see those runs were starting to get a little bit bigger, and we kind of talked at halftime about, hey, listen, we're gonna go into the second half here, and we're gonna lean on them. And if you're running the ball well, gains of 2 and 3 in the first quarter turn to gains of 4 and 5 and 6 in the second, and they turn into gains of 10 and 12 in the third and fourth, and that's kind of what happened. So I was very pleased with that.
Brennan and the Mason.
Andy, over here, when you decide to go for it on 4th and 1 at the 22 or whatever it was, what kind of message do you think that sends the offense? And then when you don't get it and the defense comes up with that sort of play, how big is that in the course of a game?
Yeah, that's awesome. I think James talks all the time about playing complementary football. And, we got to have each other's backs in this situation. And so we talk about playing to win as opposed to playing not to lose. Those mentalities are 2 totally different. And James makes the call to go for it, make the call, it doesn't work. Sometimes it doesn't work. But then to turn around and have the defense get a critical stop, to swing the momentum back, it's a huge deal. That's what complementary football is. And so to answer your question, it's the mentality of playing to win, right? Let's not play on our heels. Let's not play reactive football, knowing that when there is adversity, a championship football team is going to respond, and really in any of the phases of the game.
Mason, and then we'll go to Max.
Tom over here. Obviously, Dominic was the one that sealed the deal with those 2 interceptions. But what did it take for the secondary and even the front 7 to kind of put it all together, to kind of confuse Jennings, help create those opportunities for interceptions?
Yeah, it's a total team effort. Just so proud of our guys. We challenged them this week to be the reason why. We knew it was going to be a game where the tempo is challenging, and they'd given lots of people trouble. They'd run the ball really well and thrown the ball really well and scored a lot of points. And so they got a lot of really good talented players, especially at skill positions. And that quarterback's, he's tough to deal with. So it started up front. Coach just said it. We challenged our D-line the whole week leading up to it. Our linebackers to stop the run and then pressure the quarterback. And he's one of those guys where when you pressure him, you got to be careful what you get when you pressure him. And so it was about leveraging him. It was also leveraging him with layers. Because if you don't have any layers, because he's going to make that first guy miss most of the time. So just so proud of our D-line. We got a few sacks but constant pressure. And then the secondary had to be able to do some disguise and some different looks and play some man, play some zone, make them look like each one. Then you do that with tempo, it can be challenging. Sometimes you got to get your cleats in the ground, and it's a win. So just a collective effort, all 3 levels. Just really proud of our guys. Just feel really blessed and very thankful.
Max, and then Flounders.
Andy in the middle here. I know get a little overshadowed, but Gronk finally made his debut today. Obviously, the interception on his first pass, but he came back with a completion. Just how do you feel he handled the moment, and how much comfort do you have in him moving forward?
I think he handled the moment fine. You know what I mean? There was no adaptation of what we had to call or anything like that. He was prepared all week to go into the game like we would expect, right? I think, anytime that you're the backup quarterback or the third string quarterback, like you need to prepare like you're the starter, and he does that. And I thought he went in and handled it well. You know what I mean? You probably want that throw to be a little more on the body or handed off, but it happens, right? And so you go back out there, you get it out of the way, and respond in adversity. It's a little bit what I said before about how it is football. I mean, this is playoff football, so it ain't going to go perfect the whole game, and you're going to have to respond to when things aren't going well. And what he did in that to allow us to go out there and chew some more time up off the clock, it kind of really exemplifies how today went, I thought.
Bob and then Audrey.
Andy, how you doing over here on your left? How you doing?
Great, how are you?
I was going to ask you about the other Penn State quarterback, Drew. Good defense you went up against today. Conditions probably weren't optimum, maybe to throw the ball. How did you see him play today? And it looked like it maybe took him just a little bit of time to get going. How did you evaluate Drew?
Yeah, without watching film, and I whatever, I didn't even see statistically how it was, but in the second half we joked. I don't know if I hardly called the pass in the third quarter when he was out there, and I think that one drive we ran the ball all the way down the field, which is awesome. That's what we want to be able to do in a game like that. So yes, weather conditions aren't great, they're not optimal, they're ripping around. That's playoff football, that's the way it is. There's no excuses to really not execute in any capacity. But I would tell you one thing, that's not going to show up in the stats is how many times he is our leader and the straw that stirs the drink, how many times he puts us in the right play. We had a lot of run checks in the game plan. For him to put us in the right play and get us in situations that are favorable, allow our guys to execute, that's a big part of being a quarterback as well.
Audrey, then Daniel.
Hey, Andy, to you, right? You mentioned playing not to lose, and James told us that all week he wanted you guys to call the game aggressively. What does that mean for you to kind of have that opportunity? And was there any surprise or hesitation on that 4th and 1 when he's telling you, hey, we're going for this?
No, zero. He was totally on the board with, go for it. Okay. You know what I mean? It's that simple. And he communicates, frequently throughout the drives of what he's thinking, you know what I mean, and when he thinks we might be able to go for it or not. So, that's something we practice daily, honestly, through practice and what we're doing and in our game management meetings. So there was no surprise or hesitation or and there was none of that, no hesitation. And you could just see our kids too. We're like, whatever, okay, here we go, another play, another opportunity.
Daniel and Seth is our last question.
For both of you, just what you can say about the ride to get to where you are. You heard Coach Franklin talk about how this is a family and how they work together throughout this entire season, that they can play in any decade of Penn State football. What can you say to being a part of this family and riding to this point right now and having a historic win in the college football playoff?
Go ahead.
I think, that you could get really deep in the answer here. First, just to speak of the tradition of this place, to have football as long as this place has had it, to have this stadium the way it is, and to do something that's never been done here, it's pretty freaking rare, and it's pretty cool to be a part of it. The comment that he made about being part of a family, that's totally true. And I feel like just a spoke in the flywheel that he's created here. The offensive coordinator is an important position, but he doesn't get enough credit for what he's done here consistently, honestly. And I feel like I'm just a spoke in that process. I'm blessed to be a part of it. I'm having a ton of fun, but it's an unbelievable experience. All those things he talked about they're real. It's a family. The guys love each other. They're playing for each other. We've had a ton of gritty wins, this year. We've dealt with adversity and responded the right way, and that's what being a competitor is about. And he deserves a ton of credit for creating this program.
Yeah, I would just say that just really blessed. A lot of emotions. Coach and I are coached at the small college level.
Yep.
Work our way up through. It's been a long journey to get to a place like this in our roles, and just really very thankful for Coach Franklin giving us this opportunity. Both of us, I know we feel the same way, and we talked about that quite a bit. And just appreciate his leadership, and we just got great staff. So many people around us that work so hard. The players, I've been so impressed with just the work ethic of the kids and how much we demand of them and how much they give us. And it's over and over. And this season, it's already been a long season. And they just keep showing up and working. And so it just takes a lot of people. And winning's hard, and it's just been, so a lot of things to it. I feel really, really blessed to be here. Very thankful to be here. And there's been a lot of lessons along the way, and I think this team is really kind of been forged by a lot of adversity during games. We've had to come from behind. We've had to be able to, both sides of the ball, or the special teams have had to come up and make a big play that were game-changing. So very complimentary football, and each phase has to have, when they have their opportunity, they got to step up, and they have at different times, and so that's what makes it special. So really excited about where we are, but it's want-to-know mindset, and we just got to continue to learn from the things each week like we did from the last time we played, and just keep getting better. So appreciate it. We are.
Last question is that.
To follow on that, for both of you, first year of the program, to see how many people kind of showed up tonight or today, and especially with what was at stake. What was that like, seeing that from the box? What did that look like? And was there a moment at all during the game that you were able to kind of like turn to the person next to you and kind of just say, this is pretty cool?
I don't know that in the heat of a quote-unquote battle that you ever really get to enjoy it, to your point. Me and Tom, actually, it's the only time we get to share these moments, because like he commented before, we ain't playing in front of these crowds when we were in the Division III playoffs. Even though at Whitewater we had tremendous support and we had great crowds there, but we laugh in the pregame probably is when it happened, and the production that ensues of getting our football team and the whole travel party to and from, and we laugh. I remember on Fridays before we used to play games, we'd show up in the afternoon, we'd have a walkthrough and a meeting, and then we'd go home and be home by dinner. And now it's hotel and this meal and this buffet and then this dessert and then, you know what I mean, and then this meeting. And so there's just so much production and grandeur to it that I don't know that you probably get to enjoy it the way you want, but that's the competitor in us. Like, we're both going to go look at the film and probably be very critical, even though you win the game, you know what I mean? And we're going to be critical of the body of work to get better, because that's kind of what we do. So no, I haven't spent any time up at the press box. I don't look at Tom and go, can you believe this crowd? It's more or whatever. You see him over there getting pissed off about something, hey, Tom, it was a pick six, you know what I mean? It's all right. Or I'm frustrated, it's just, you're in the moment. So, you're doing your job. That's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah, and I think, there's really not, during the game, that's accurate. You don't really have a time where you ever really let up, and so, but we shared some, just a lot of similar experiences in the past, and I think just it makes you appreciate where you are, and especially when you get a chance to do with a guy that's kind of knows, I was, when you're different places, you're equipment guy, I'm responsible for certain things. I was at the small college level, been high school level for many years, and you appreciate, they got somebody for everything here, in most places, obviously at this high level, but it just makes you really appreciate, this experience that we're all involved in right now. And to me, it's about just not taking any of this for granted, and so we're blessed to be at a place that values football at an extremely high level, that creates a lot of expectations, which is what you want. You want to be a place that cares so much about winning and so much about, being able to play at the highest level possible. So, and I think when you have a group of guys that have been at different places along the way, they bring those experiences with them, So, but we do enjoy each other. We got a great staff to work with, but there's during the game, there's not a whole lot of time for that, But I will say that when you do what we do and the hours we put in and the families involved and how much is sacrificed by them, it's pretty special. And so you really enjoy. That's why these new kickoffs are good. You get a chance to get a big win, and you can kind of enjoy the rest of the evening here in a different way, maybe because you don't have to go back and watch the film within the next 3 or 4 hours. But then when the night's over, you come back tomorrow and get to work. So we're going to enjoy this for sure. Keep getting better, and want-to-know mindset.
Thank you, coaches.